What up, everybody? Still trying to make the adjustments here to the camera. Whoop, lost my remote. Let's see if anybody's on tonight. Anybody on tonight? I just figured this would be something cool to do since the Alliance games are on this time of year, and do something. But of course, we'll have to wait and see if anybody shows up. Granted, there's nobody on yet at this point in the video. At least looking at the viewers icon right here on the screen. But anybody who sees me looking back and forth, the TV's over here in this corner, and my setup is right here. So keep my eye on both of you guys, both the TV and my audience. Ooh, Sims took a shot there. Damn. Yeah, it'd probably be a better idea to promote my live broadcasts so that way people know, but I like surprises. I'll just give it 10 minutes. Nobody watches, nobody watches. No big deal. And 9-9. Well, of course, I'm talking about the Atlanta Legends and the San Diego Fleet. Didn't expect it to be that low scoring of a game. I know so far in this point in the video, I'm not saying much, but nobody's here. Incomplete. It's a funny part. Don't have an audience watching this video yet, but yet I'm just showing what I would normally do off camera, and that would be watching the game. But yeah, I shouldn't be surprised. Everybody else, like myself, it's Sunday night. We all have to work tomorrow. Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised at the low amount of traffic. Hey, hey, bud. My cat. Yeah, I need a shave. It doesn't look like a whole lot anybody's on tonight. But of course, I'm not exactly a big attraction. I know that. Oh, hey, Walter. Somebody finally showed up. I don't believe it. What's going on, man? Not too bad, bud. Just staying busy and you know, work, sleep, and eat in that order, pretty much. Just like most other Americans. How about yourself? I'm actually just sitting here watching the Atlanta Legends and the San Diego Fleet. 12-9 Atlanta with about 14 minutes to go in the game. I'll tell you one thing, dude. It hasn't exactly been the best football played that I've ever seen, but it's just nice to have football in the spring. Now, granted, yes, there actually is a local arena football team here in the area that I do go to. Um, But obviously, arena football and actual football is a lot different. That's what it's looking like so far. I mean, a lot of the games that I've seen, it's been, you know, defense galore. But it's been good defense. Well, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, let's face it, the NFL themselves and the fans, they like seeing touchdowns. They like seeing points. Now, thing is, it's funny that you mentioned that. Like these barn burner type games, they're fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I'm actually one who likes a more balanced game. Plenty of offense, but plenty of defense too. I mean, like for example, a lot of these Big 12 games where the score is like 50-45. It makes me wonder: do they even try to recruit defense, or do they just recruit the backups sitting on the bench? I mean, I like to see some good defense as well as some good offense. Now, this game that I'm watching here, the Legends and the Fleet, you can make the argument that it hasn't exactly been the best offensive performance, but I mean, hey, it's 2 weeks into this new league. Oh, I see I have two people now. Whoever that other person is, how you doing? That makes sense. I mean, Oregon's actually pretty known for their track team, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, no, the guys on their football team just fast, 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 fast. That's what's allowed them to have a lot of success on their offense over the past, what's it been, like 30 years. I mean, they've as long as I've been watching them, they've always had or at least when I have watched them, they've always had a pretty fast offense. I mean, watching some of those guys on that Ducks team, it's the cardio that those guys have, it's got to be unreal. But yeah, Walter, this is the fourth live stream that I've done. I'm surprised this is the first time that I've seen you. I figured you would have shown up before now. Hey, what are you doing? This is my cat. Yeah, oh, that's true. That's true. A lot of their running backs have been pretty small guys, so that's definitely very true. Now that I think of it. Oh, yeah, you and me both. You and me both. I mean, when the weekend actually gets here, this is crazy to say, but I'm actually see. I work. I think I've said this in just about every live stream that I've done to this point. But working 60 hours a week, my schedule is 5:30 p.m. to 6 o'clock in the morning. So Saturday morning, I'm getting home at you know like 6:30 give or take, and I'm actually sleeping a good chunk of the day on Saturday, which I know sounds like a waste, but that's the thing. Shift differential talks, more money, and I'm gonna be so happy when I finally get my new computer. It looks like the I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but to me it looks like the focus and the colors kind of going out, or it's unbalanced. Well, he probably would have been a better fit in the CFL, maybe for how their offenses run, but you know you got to get your money because a football career is not going to last forever. I think the average NFL career is what, 4 years, so you got to get your money when you can. Oh, and somebody just scored. Looks like it was the Fleet. So the San Diego Fleet take the lead. See, now this is where this league, I think, it gets really interesting. Having to go for two instead of just kick the extra point. I like that. Definitely makes things a lot interesting, or a lot more interesting. Excuse me. Go for the win. What do you mean? No, no. See, Walter, in the new Alliance of American Football, they don't have extra points. You have to go for two every single time. There's still like, yeah, there's still 9 minutes in this game yet. So it wasn't they weren't going for two to win the game. But yeah, no, if you're talking about like back in the day when Lou Holtz did that against like 90 in 92 against Penn State, yeah, damn right you go for the win. And besides, you kind of had to because you could still tie in college football back then. Ugh, going out of focus. Hate that. Reggie Brooks, he was definitely something special. He was a real good athlete. But geez, I'll never forget. I think it was that same year, 1992, against Michigan when he took oh, that shot at the goal line right before he went into the end zone for the touchdown against Michigan. Oh, I remember him saying in an interview that he didn't even remember scoring the touchdown. Oh, I bet. I wouldn't surprise me if a good chunk of them still stick around in the area. A lot of guys, wherever they go to school at, they fall in love with the area and want to stay there. And even if they don't live there, they still have the connections, come back regularly, that kind of thing. Hey, any newcomers? How's it going? Yeah, I remember you told me that you met Tranquil. I remember you telling me that. I bet that was pretty cool. Hey, cold as Brian, how's it going, dude? Didn't have anything else better to do tonight, so I thought I'd just get on here and go live for a little while. I might go through the end of this game between the Fleet and the Legends. Yeah, yeah, I remember those jerseys. It was pretty cool. Just let's see, yeah, 2011. Let's see, I know 2000. Let's see, it was 2010. We had the heartbreaker against them, and then 2011. What happened? Okay, yeah, that is the right game that I'm thinking of. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm kind of the same way as you are, Walter. I don't, even though things were great, I don't like to buy stuff from a loss. It just sucks. Oh no, they were definitely cool jerseys. I'm not saying otherwise. Just for me, it's just kind of a bad reminder. Like for example, ticket stubs. I have a nice little collection of those. Um, but I don't keep ones from a loss. It just sucks too much of a bad reminder. But yeah, let's see. Was that the Under the Lights game? Was that when they wore the white one? I think those were the white ones with like the green stripes. I think I'm pretty sure that's what they looked like. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Um, yeah, those jerseys were pretty dope. I'll tell you that much. One jersey that I think would be pretty cool to get. I don't know if you can still buy them or not, but the one jersey I liked was when they had the Shamrock Series jersey or the Shamrock Series game against Arizona State at AT&T Stadium. Now those jerseys were pretty badass because I mean those are kind of like the same thing from the 2011 Michigan game, but they were like all white jersey, gold numerals, green green outline, and I think they also had the Texas flag logo. But those are pretty cool. But of course, I think they're probably out of production now. I mean, that game was, like 5 years ago already. Excuse me. But no, the only other Notre Dame jersey that I have is I actually did get one from the Chicago series game in Soldier Field when they beat Miami. but it's not exactly a game. It's obviously not game worn. It's not game replica. It's just one of the cheap ones that they sold the fans. But that was the dark blue with the gold numerals and more like a cursive pattern. Let's see, 5 minutes to go between the San Diego Fleet and the Atlanta Legends. Could get interesting here in the closing minutes of the game. Let's see. Let's see, that loss against Duke, Walter, I unfortunately was in attendance for that one too. I was so embarrassed that day. I mean, granted, I know Duke has made some strides with their football program. They're playing better, but that's a game you have to win. You know, Brian, as I'm not going to say those jerseys were the worst looking I've ever seen. Um, because people were ragging on those jerseys so much. But you got to remember when you're playing in a neutral stadium in a series that, is basically for paying homage to the team whose stadium you're playing in, those are actually pretty cool for what it was. But at the same time, yeah, I wouldn't, I'm not going to go out of my way to buy one of those. But I think it was a pretty cool tribute, though, nonetheless. But of course, you know me, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care what we wear. We could just wear blank white jerseys and whatnot. Just win the game. That's all I care about. But yeah, as far as games that I've been to in South Bend, I'd actually have to sit and think about it. But I don't want to do that too much on camera here. But my win loss record from attending games at Notre Dame is pretty good. Um, just unfortunately, I've been to some of the bad losses too, like the Duke game. Well, that's awesome, Brian. I'm glad you've never had to witness a loss. It sucks. But let's see. This is going to sound like a lot, but keep in mind, guys, that I've seen a lot more wins than I have losses at Notre Dame. But I've seen us lose to South Florida, unfortunately, Michigan State 3 times, 03, 05, and 07. Duke, USC, so that's 6. And Stanford in 2010, it was Kelly's first season. So that's 7 times for sure that I've seen us lose. But let's see, I've seen us beat Navy, beat Michigan, um, beat USC, um, beat UCLA. I was there for that one. Beat Penn State. Well, actually, Navy twice. So let's see. I think I lost count there. Let me do this again. I'm just gonna try to go by order and all the years that I've been going up to South Bend. Uh, beat Navy, Washington State, um, Michigan, Stanford, um, hmm, UCLA, Penn State. That's 6. Did I go up in 2008? Trying to remember that year. Oh, you go to Boston College games too, Brian? Actually, I take that back. I think you did tell me that in a past live stream that I did. Oh, but yeah, going back to before 2008, I don't think I went to any games that year. Um, but anyway, 2009, they beat Nevada. Um, saw them beat Purdue. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, just a good halfway point for you. Let's see. Oh, what I'm trying to think. I'm just sorry, guys. I'm just trying to think of all the games that I've been to. Oh, saw us beat Utah in 2010. I was there for that. So I think we're at 10 and 7 right now for an overall record of me being in attendance. Um, saw us beat Temple. Saw us beat UMass. Saw I was there for Miami of Ohio. I was there for that one. Um, there's some years that I'm skipping over here. Oh, 2012. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember if I was up there in 2012 for any games. Oh, I was there. I wasn't at Notre Dame, but I was in the Ireland game when we played Navy. I was there over there for that, but I don't think I made it up to. Oh no, 2012 Wake Forest. I was there for that because Walter. Actually, that's when I met you in person that day. Um, 2014 I was there for Michigan. Yeah, I know, Walter. I just said that. Well, free ticket? What do you mean, Brian? I can't get you any free tickets. I pay for them just like everybody else. I'm sorry, I'm catching up on your comments here. No, it's definitely hard. Now, myself, it's probably not as hard, but it's hard to get tickets to the games that you want to go to. Now don't get me wrong. Any team we play, I want to go to, but obviously there's ones that are more high profile that I'd rather go to. Um, but yeah, I was there when we beat Navy in 2015. Um, I think I think my overall record for games in attendance, I think I'm at like without I know I kind of got off track here, but I think in attendance I'm like 18 and 7, something like that. But yeah, Brian, I am actually planning to make the trip down to Athens this upcoming fall. I'm gonna be driving down there, making a little road trip. But I actually at my work, I my first year anniversary is coming up on Wednesday, so I will finally have earned a week of vacation time, and that whole vacation week I'm going to use for that trip. So probably leave here that the weekend before the game, drive down, probably stop in Tennessee, meet Big Ball Daddy along the way, and then head down and meet up with Magnum. And well, him and I will probably go to the game together. Um, well, I'm just reading all your comments here, Walter, and catching up. That's awesome that you're able to get free tickets, dude. Whoever your connection is. And yeah, JJ, I haven't talked to him in a while, but one of these days I'd like to get the chance to meet him. We've talked a few times, but just haven't had the chance to meet in person yet because obviously, he lives in Ohio and I live here in Illinois, so kind of tough. But also, yeah, Magnum and I, when we're down there, we're definitely going to do a video for sure. I mean, why wouldn't we? It's the first time we're going to be meeting in person. And Magnum, he's a good dude. He really is. Because I've gotten to know him and we've actually become good friends. Just haven't met in person yet. Oh, and speaking of Georgia guys, and I know there's only like three of you watching, but this is of course this is probably going to go get this is going to get posted after I'm done doing this feed. But Uncle Lou will no longer be on this channel, so that's not going to be a problem. But I think you guys who are watching right now, Brian, Walter, and I don't know who that third person was, but he showed up here on a live feed that I did last night, and I'm not going to waste too much time on him. I've already wasted enough, but that guy and I'm not talking about his character. I'm talking about the actual person, Derek. Uncle Lou is just a character, but that guy he's got a lot of problems and he is a jerk. And definitely something up here going on with him. But regardless, he's gone. He won't be on this channel again unless he actually goes the loser route and makes a new account just to come harass me. And for the record, no, it has nothing to do with football. It's the fact that he's just a jerk. Yeah. um, yeah, I would imagine not a lot of people who've lived in Florida their whole lives would see a lot of cold. What's unfortunate, Brian? Yeah, custom made stuff. Yeah, probably. I mean, if you're not, living in a cold environment, I mean, the worst, really, in Florida, what's the worst that it does? Rain. That might get a little cold. Why would you need to keep any winter gear around? What, just what, slipping on the ice or slipping because they had been drinking too much? Now, if you're talking about the slipping on the ice and stuff, um, I've experienced that. I was at hold on, Brian. I'll get to your question in a second here, but first off, going back to the whole ice thing, I was back in 2014, I was at that Monday Night Football game between the Bears and Cowboys at Soldier Field, the one where they retired Mike Ditka's number. And oh, what was the temperature for that? I think it was like -13 below -13, and right off. I think being right off the river. I think it was more like -20, and just the whole stadium, the whole well, not the field, of course, but the stands. They were all caked in snow and ice, and oh, I was prepared. I had, slip resistant boots and all that, but you want to talk about miserable, but yet having fun at the same time. There you go. And that was actually a pretty cool game too. Um, that was what Cutler was hurt, so they had Josh McCown starting. And I remember in that game, even though he's an enemy now, Alshon Jeffrey made one of the most awesome catches I've ever seen. Um, but anyway, Brian, to answer your question, how am I planning on getting Georgia tickets? Actually, I think I was actually talking to Magnum a few nights ago about this, and yeah, dude. What are we gonna do about tickets for the game? And I think what we're gonna do, and obviously he lives down there. He's gone to Bulldog games all the time, so I think what we're gonna do is actually wait till after kickoff, because in that way you can. He said after that you can get a ticket for like $50 or whatever. So I think we're gonna go that route. But of course, if I was able to find a good deal ahead of time, then I'm gonna try that, of course. But you already know a big game like that. I mean, I think they've already announced that game day is going to be there for it. It's gonna be one of the biggest primetime games of the season. You're not going to get a cheap ticket in advance. It's just not going to happen. I mean, of course, I already have some money saved up, but probably not nearly enough. Oh, she fell down the stairs, huh? That's not good. But I've actually had that happen before too. Last winter, and this is actually very common. But the when you're the front steps of your house and whatnot, when it gets caked over with the ice that you can't really see. I had a little spill with that myself once last winter. I pulled a Marv from Home Alone when he fell down the basement steps. I was like, it sucks. I'm surprised I didn't break my freaking back doing that. But yeah, no. Next fall, heading down to Georgia. It should be a good time. Um, just looking forward to meeting Magnum and heading down south. And I've been down south before, but I haven't really had the chance to really, you know, aside from when Shamrock Jerry and I were in Miami for the title game in 2013. Every other time that I've been down south, I've never really had the chance to enjoy it. No, they probably won't be cheap. They won't. The stupid people that well, not stupid people. Let me rephrase that. People that have money will pay stupid money for tickets, and the people selling them will probably be asking for stupid money. I mean, I think when Georgia came to South Bend in 2017, I think the average ticket price on the streets was like $1,000. But no, I think being a fan of one of the most hated teams in college football, I know that when I go down there, I'll be walking into probably hostile territory, but um, it should be a good time nonetheless. I mean, a lot of the Georgia fans that I've come across, with the exception of the obvious one being Uncle Lou, have been pretty good people. Um, some of them are no longer making YouTube videos, but most of them that I've come across have all been pretty good people. So I'm looking forward to going down there. And like I said, Magnum, he's been since I've gotten to know him, he's become a good friend of mine, and um, I'm actually looking forward to experiencing another team stadium. I haven't been to a whole lot of them. I've been to Kinnick in Iowa. I've been to Camp Randall in Wisconsin, and, well, of course, Notre Dame. Uh, yeah. I mean, I've said this a million times before. There's definitely credit to both sides. I mean, you credit the UGA fans for doing whatever to see their team play, but at the same time, our fan base a bunch of damn sellouts. Like it's this is probably getting to be a overused catchphrase of mine, but it's amazing. Some corporate cowboy comes along offering you $1,000 for your ticket, and you just hand it over without even thinking about it. And I know some people, like Walter. I think you told me this once. When you told me, Sean, maybe someone needs that money to pay a bill or something like that. Well, you normally would be right on that, Walter. But let's be realistic. If you had a ticket to the Georgia game in 2017, you're not one who's struggling for money. You're not needing to pay a bill. You're not behind on payments for anything. You're pretty much set if you had a ticket for that game. But just what pisses me off the most is the fans who sold their tickets and allowed it to be half and half in that stadium, just about. And I remember talking with my brother like a couple weeks leading up to that game. He's like, Sean, just watch. This game's gonna be Nebraska 2000 all over again. And the same thing happened then. Half of the stadium was full of red. So, I mean, look, I understand that it's your ticket. You can do what you want with it. I mean, capitalism, free enterprise. But it just, where's the fanhood? Where's the support for your team? And what pisses me off the most is the people who sold their tickets. They're likely the same ones who have bitched year in and year out about, oh, we don't have we need we're not up with the college football world. We need a new stadium. We need field turf. We need a sound system, a jumbotron, all of that. And now they get it, and they're still selling their tickets. So, unfortunately, as much as I love the University of Notre Dame, our fan base has a lot of fair weathered fans in it. Yeah, yeah. Texas. I remember, yeah, the Texas and Oklahoma games. There were quite a bit of orange and red in those stands, but we still had them outnumbered. But no, you go back to that overhead of the stadium shot, and damn near half that stadium was red for the Georgia game. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised with any of that, because I got a cousin who he's a Notre Dame fan. He loves it, but he's the same way. He only gets tickets just so he can sell them. At least I think he's on um at least I think he's on the season ticket list. Oh, and by the way, guys, it looks like a piece of shit just showed up, because he's blocked from my channel, but he just sent me a message here. Like, oh, UGA owns your ass. Well, that's fine. But just letting you guys know, I don't. Of course, I'm talking about Uncle Lou. His real name's Derek. I don't hate this guy because of football. If he wants to rag on my team all day long, go ahead. But he makes personal attacks at other things. That's why I don't like him. So, hey, Derek, how's it going? I obviously you wouldn't send me a message right now if you weren't watching. Let's see, let's catch up on some comments here. Yeah, Walter, some people are definitely reckless with their money. I mean, I guess if you have extra to spare, then it wouldn't be hard to. Yeah, Brian, the St. Louis Cardinals, they are definitely one of those teams that surprisingly travel very well. Because I've been to a few Cubs Cardinals games at Wrigley Field, and well, granted, in a big city, you're always going to see plenty of fans from opposing teams because that's where a lot of them commute to and live. But they do travel surprisingly well. In St. Louis, he almost wouldn't think so, just because of kind of a smaller market, that kind of thing. But they do travel pretty well. But I got to ask you, Brian, did did the Yankees still have them outnumbered though? Which is probably a stupid question, which I'm sure they did. At least I would hope the Yankees fans would have them outnumbered. Okay, I would hope so because if there's ever a problem where Yankees fans are allowing other teams to take over their stadium, then there's some problems. Actually, Walter, I do remember reading that somewhere that Steve Bartman was an alumni of Notre Dame. I didn't know that at first, but I do remember reading that. Wow. Oh yeah, that's if they were able to get tickets in the same section, then yeah, you're really going to make a lot of noise. That's for sure. Spread out, not so much. But what did the banner say? And what those Dodgers fans say for their roll call? Okay, so that LA logo, that makes sense. I don't really know the Yankees roll call though, so I guess I'd have to search a video of that. But yeah, that's not cool to mimic that if especially if it's a tradition. There's no excuse for that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's definitely one thing I hate when you have opposing fans from the other team come into the stadium and do like disrespectful things. That stuff I have no respect for. Just hey, believe me, just a lot of you guys have seen me with Michigan State fans, so you know what I'm talking about. Because unfortunately, 2005, I was at the game where they planted the flag, and just mm. Well, yeah, Walter. I mean, I know the Cubs got it done in 2016, but there's there's always going to be, you know, there's always going to be people out there who don't let that kind of shit go. So even though they've won it all, I if I was Steve Bartman, I'd still keep a low profile. Because I'm sorry, that's the thing. People in this world are just nuts. They don't forget stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I remember 2003 when that happened. I was pissed too. But then when you actually, you know, bring yourself down from out of the clouds, you realized, okay, everybody was going for that ball. He was just the unfortunate one that it happened to hit off of. And I'll tell you one thing, all Moises Alou, who was our left fielder at the time, all he had to do was keep his cool, and things probably would have been fine. But he lost his temper, he unraveled, and that I think that caused a chain reaction to everything. I mean, was it Bartman's fault that Alex Gonzalez muffed a double play ball that would have got us out of the inning? Nope. So that was all on the Cubs right there. Yeah, that's true, Brian. Whenever you're able to get now, granted, I mean, baseball is probably a little bit different than college football because college football, there's always a particular section for for the opposing fans. But yeah, baseball stadiums, they don't really do that. So I agree. To get a whole bunch of fans from the opposing team in one section, that is pretty impressive. Yeah, and that's when the atmosphere is good. When you're able to get along with, when the home fans and the opposing fans are able to get along and there's no, scuffling or issues, that's what makes it a good experience. Well, of course, Walter, he's not obviously he's changed quite a bit since 2003, but still though, if I was Steve Bartman, I'd still keep a low profile, not bring any attention to myself. But yeah, I seriously doubt he's going to be wearing the same clothes that he was in 2003 if he did decide to go back to Wrigley for a game. So, yeah, um I think it would be pretty I see I've never seen Notre Dame play Boston College in person, but I'd like to think that it was I think it would be pretty pretty simple for them to get along considering the fact that both are Catholic schools and a lot of both are pretty Irish as far as heritage goes. Because I mean, hey, Catholicism, you do have a lot of Irish heritage there. But oh, hold on, guys, 1 second. There you go, bud. Ugh. Sorry about that, guys. One of my cats wanted to get out of the office here. Yeah, it's funny, since it's funny that you mentioned that, Walter, because sometimes the opposing fans section is where you can probably get the best deals on tickets. And Brian, if Steve Bartman did that, he'd just be an open target. Yeah, him coming back to Wrigley Field wearing the headphones and the hat and the turtleneck. Oh man, that'd be like an 8-point buck walking up to 100 and say, "Hey, here I am. Shoot me. Put my head on your wall." Well, I'm glad you tried to, Walter. I mean, I'm glad you actually try to get the crowd going. I mean, there's been a few times when I've gone to Notre Dame. Well, actually, true story. When Shamrock Jerry, when he it wasn't the first game that we went to. It was 2011 when he flew in for the South Florida game, and we were there watching the game. And unfortunately, we couldn't sit together. The tickets that I got, they were away from one another. But he actually had a woman when he was standing up cheering after a big play. This woman behind him says, "Sir, excuse me, could you please sit down? We're trying to watch the game. And could you be quiet, please?" And I'm like, he told me that story. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And he's like, "No, I'm not, Sean. She told me that." I'm like, what do these people think it is? A golf tournament? You go to it's a football game. You make noise, you get loud. And I think that's why you have so many teams that really, well, nobody should be afraid coming to your stadium, but it should not be an enjoyable experience. You have so many coaches out there that say, "Oh yeah, we like coming to South Bend. We like coming to play at Notre Dame Stadium. It's always a great experience." Well, that's just it. It shouldn't be. That crowd should be ruckus. They should be making it hard on the other team. So teams shouldn't be saying that it's an enjoying experience to play there. But people like that lady, that's why it is the way it is. Yeah, it's funny, Brian. Reading those comments of yours. What do these people think that these games are? Do they think they're at a golf match? I mean, really, do you really go to a baseball game or a football game and think that there's not going to be noise? Give me a freaking break. And let me tell you guys something else. This isn't even sports. All right, I was and I actually have the video here on my channel. You can go see it. But I was at that AC/DC concert when they came to play Wrigley Field back in 2015. There was actually somebody that complained or that they filed a noise complaint with the city. You can look that up. Somebody actually filed a noise complaint with the city because there was a concert at Wrigley Field because AC/DC was there. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? Stupid. Oh, good for your girlfriend, man. I'm glad she has the guts to stand up to to jerks like that guy. It just boggles my mind. Who goes to a baseball or a football game and thinks that it's supposed to be quiet? I mean, just how stupid are people these days? But and like the example I just gave, oh no, oh a concert. No, you really think there's not going to be noise? Oh, it's so stupid. It's just unbelievable how stupid people are. I mean, yeah. Again, a rock band comes to a major city, plays in a legendary stadium. No, we'll keep it quiet for you. The fans are there to rock out. I I just don't get it. Yeah, I've heard of people like that too. They move into a house right by the railroad tracks and then they complain about it being loud. Don't move by the railroad tracks then. Well, it's Yankee Stadium. I mean, I mean, yeah, okay. You say it. It's especially ruckus in right field. Well, here's the thing. A company that my older brother works for, their headquarters are based out of Boston, and this isn't Yankee Stadium. It's Fenway Park that I'm talking about here. But he, my brother went on a business trip there once, and the president of their company had, he gets Red Sox tickets. Took him to a game, and they sat right by the opposing team's dugout, and it happened to be a Red Sox Yankees weekend, and it was funny as hell. The president of my brother's company, he was shouting stuff at Jeter, at A Rod. Uh, from what I remember, a lot of the jokes were towards other guys doing Jeter and A Rod's wife and whatnot. And this is when Bernie Sanders was still on the team, and this uh, this this uh, this president of my brother's company was like, "Yo, hey Jeter, is it true that that A Rod did your wife?" And so of course Jeter's just kneeling there, and you can see the smirk on his face, and the guy's like, "Don't pretend that you ignore me. I can see you smiling." And then Bernie Sanders walks up the stairs out onto the field, and this guy goes, "No, never mind. It was Bernie. Bernie did her." And of course, guys, there were some obscenities being said, but I'm not going to repeat that here. Um, but then Sanders and Jeter, they both just started, or Bernie Williams, I'm sorry, Williams and Jeter, they just start cracking up laughing. So no, I'm not surprised that it gets ruckus at either one of these two parks. And I mean, you say at a Yankee Stadium, it's more ruckus than right field. It wouldn't surprise me if it was the same place all over, but it should be, especially for a rivalry. Yeah. Um. Actually, I think I might know what game you're talking about because I think I remember seeing that on Sports Center. They covered that briefly. Yeah, I didn't mean that, Brian. I meant Bernie Williams. I screwed up. See, Bernie Williams I like, Bernie Sanders I don't. I mean, hey, even I mess up, right? I mean, as long as you knew who I was talking about, that's the most important thing. But yes, Bernie Williams, not Bernie Sanders. But it's funny though, since you brought it up, could you imagine if somebody said that to Bernie Sanders? Hey, yo, Bernie Sanders, is it true this guy did your wife? Huh? Whatever. He'd be like, probably start promoting socialism. He'd probably, actually, knowing Bernie Sanders in that scenario, he'd be like, "Oh, I believe in socialism. In socialism, I'll give you my wife." Yeah, I know. Don't quit your day job, right, Sean? Well, I was just trying to make a joke there, Brian. I really wasn't trying to, bring up politics or anything like that. But, he might be better than Hillary, but neither one of them would have been good. Because I'm sorry, but nothing in this life is free, which basically was what Bernie was trying to push for. Yeah, just everybody. You just get everything. You don't have to earn it. Yeah, Jeter. I always respected him, Walter. He not only a good player, but good person too. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to pretend that I know a ton about him, but you know, you got to respect how good of a player he was. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. I was only planning on going for like a half hour. I didn't expect it to turn into almost an hour and 15 minutes. Well, Walter, I remember I answered that in the question series. You asked me a similar question. I still like Sosa. Yeah, I just don't like what he's become. Just yeah, he's become different. I'll say that much. But no, I mean, he always Sosa left me with so many great memories, and that's something you can't just ignore that. I mean, that '98 season was so much fun watching. I mean, yeah, I guess the steroids and the PhD stuff, tainted a little bit, but it was still fun to watch. Uh, yeah, I mean, where to begin with Sosa, Brian? I mean, I don't get this whole thing in bleaching your skin and whatnot. I mean, when I first saw him after that, I hardly recognized him. I'm like, that's Sammy Sosa? No way. Oh, but I don't know. I mean, obviously he can do what he wants. Doesn't mean that it's not weird. But I remember when he first started doing that, and people first started seeing the pictures of him and interviews of him with after he'd bleached his skin and all that. I remember his wife was saying, "No, Sammy's not trying to be like Michael Jackson." Well, can you blame people for thinking that? I mean, what's he doing? But then again, the whole bleaching your skin thing, obviously I don't do it. I don't get it. I don't know what it's even supposed to do. I mean, the only thing that I've ever done for my skin is, but put lotion on it. I mean, if I get like a pimple or something, I'll put cream on it or moisturizer, but I don't get the whole bleaching your skin thing. Yeah, Walter. I mean, when back in the day when Sosa was battling McGuire and all. I mean, who didn't like seeing that? He hits a home run, does the hop, and does the thing. I mean, that was a lot of fun. I've met some pro athletes before. I was well, actually, I since we're sharing those stories, I was at the Cubs convention in '99, the year after they won the wild card. It was actually after the Sosa and McGuire home run race. Um, I met Kerry Wood, met Ryan Sandberg. I didn't hang out with them or anything like that. Just got their autograph and said, "Hey, you're awesome. Thank you." With the typical stuff that you do when you're getting an autograph. Um, I met some Notre Dame players who did play in the pros. Um, um, well, actually, I showed you guys a football on the first live stream that I did. Um, Derek Mays, he was a Packer and a Seahawk. Blair Keel, I think he saw some time in the NFL. Tony Rice and Lee Becton, I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you without looking it up. Matt Harvey, huh? I bet that sounds cool. And aside from that, I'm trying to think of all the pro sports out there. Never met any hockey players. I did meet a couple of professional wrestlers, if that counts. I don't know. Do you guys count professional wrestlers? Okay, then yeah, I met. And in addition to the baseball and football players, I was able to meet the Honky Tonk Man and Demolition, Axe and Smash. So that was pretty cool. Actually, oh, Stone Cold Steve Austin, that's awesome. Actually, you know what? Hold that thought, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry for just leaving you guys. Bam Bam Bigelow, huh? Nice. Walter, I wouldn't want to pitch to either of them, to be honest with you. But anyway, guys, here you go. That is me and the Honky Tonk Man at an independent show. Nice guy, but you can just talking with him, you could tell he was kind of ready to be done with wrestling, but nice guy otherwise. Really, he could have just been having a bad day, maybe. I mean, he wasn't really grumpy, but you could, like I said, you could tell that um you could tell that a part of him just didn't want to be there that day. And then here's the other one. Axe and Smash of Demolition. Now these guys were two of the nicest guys I've ever met. So laid back and awesome. And of course, I got their autographs too in the other room. Yeah, I got an autographed Rudy jersey for Christmas too. Last year, actually. I actually featured it in a video. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Axe and Smash. Well, Axe, I think he's in his 70s now. But he was in pretty good shape for his age. And Smash, I think he's about like 15 years younger. But yeah, two of the nicest guys I've ever met. But just like I think with the Honky Tonk Man, like I said, it's I could just tell he was starting to kind of get tired of it. Yeah, I've seen the Bad News Bears. I kind of like the older one with Walter Matthau better than the newer one with Billy Bob Thornton. I mean, honestly, the newer Bad News Bears with Billy Bob Thornton, all that really was just a G-rated version of Bad Santa, because they played the same music. He's still dealing with kids. He's just not cussing in front of them. So really that's all I thought that version was, but the original version with Walter Matthau was a hell of a lot better. Yeah, Thurman Merman. It's a funny story about Bad Santa, Brian. Um, that movie came out in 2003. I went and saw it in theaters, and I'm not kidding you. That is the only movie that I've ever seen in theaters that actually got a standing ovation at the end. I mean, it was just, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still laugh at that movie whenever it's on, but it was just 2003. It was just kind of something different at the time, and I think that's why people loved it so much. Now, don't get me wrong. Using curse words and raunchiness, that wasn't exactly new. It was just how they did it in that movie, how it was done. I mean, it's just you got a drunken middle-aged man and a fat loser kid. I mean Thurman Merman. That says it all right there, the kid's name. That's cool, Walter. I'm still not a fan of it, but that's cool though. I mean, if he reminds you of people in your life, then that's awesome. Yeah, yeah, you have a good one, Brian. I'm actually about to wrap it up here myself. Like I said, I really wasn't planning on going this long. It was actually almost 10 minutes before somebody even popped up. So, but yeah, dude, it was nice seeing you rest well. I should probably be going to see. I'd be going to bed myself, but like I said, I work nights, so I can stay up late on Sundays. Yeah, have a good one, dude. Yeah, Walter, I saw that. He was the catcher. So, well, yeah, look, I think I'm with Brian on this one. I'm probably gonna call it quits myself. Um, but yeah, these live streams are definitely getting to be a lot of fun. I enjoy it. Probably not as big a crowd tonight as they have been, but I get that. It's Sunday night. A lot of people have to work in the morning. As I just said, I don't, but I guess that's where I get lucky. So, but yeah, just can let you guys know for sure. All the riffraff and the nonsense of the quote idiot that's shown up so far. He knows who he is. Um, he's gone. He's not going to show up anymore. I will see to that. And on that note,